welcome back. So today's video is going to be all about lighting. So part of my whole basement relocation project, it's still not over yet, because part of it is I wanted to have really cool lighting. And I realized in the last few videos that I filmed down here that sometimes the lighting was good and sometimes the lighting was horrible. So I knew even more that like why I really had to get this done. So I've been planning it for a while, just like I've been planning this basement move for probably like a year now, to be honest. So I actually got some of my lights in advance, like some from my mom for Christmas. Thank you, mommy. And then the rest I've been working on little by little. So now I believe I have everything that I wanted to go ahead with this project, so we can put it all together and you guys can watch me and we can see if it really works. Because I got this idea from another YouTuber, a guy who shows like how to make better content on YouTube and stuff like that. So I watch his videos sometimes, and he did 2 videos on lighting. I'll link them in the description so you could like know from him, because he's like the expert, not me. So one of the videos just showed like these are the types of equipment that you can use, that you can implement, and to have really cool lighting in your YouTube videos. The other video showed like, hey, these are some cheap alternative options for how you can have this lighting. So I watched both of those, and like I added everything to my shopping cart when he showed the cheap stuff. So that's the stuff I've been working on little by little for like a few months now. So the main things, there's 2 of these. These are, it just says professional LED light. Viltrox is the brand. I'm not an expert at lighting. I don't know. Like I told you, I watched his videos. But these guys are battery operated. So then you get these batteries separate on Amazon. I'll put all the links below. Because originally I was going to get a ring light. And then after watching his video, that's what kind of changed my mind. Not that he said anything against ring lights, but just that, wow, this is hard to open. What is wrong with me? There it is. I like the effect that this showed on his video, so we'll see if I get the same effect down here. But these lights are fairly inexpensive, especially compared to a lot of the lights out there. And they're LEDs, but they're also dimmable. So you can adjust the brightness, and I think you can even adjust like the tone of the light, like more cool, more warm, things like that. So that's what's really nice about them. Now, here you buy the batteries. And this set comes with 2 batteries, and the charger. So that's perfect for the 2 lights. Next is these things. It helps bounce the light. So they're like reflectors, and it's a pack. There's a few different kinds in here. So all of these go on like tripods. So these are the ones, actually these are the cheaper versions even than the ones he suggested. And they came in these little packs. It was a pack of 2. And then I needed another one just for the reflector. And I didn't want to have to buy a whole nother tripod. And I had this one laying around the house from back in the day. So I just grabbed this one for that. So hopefully it all works out for me. And then, here's the fun part, 'cause I love lights. I love like LED multicolored lights. Back in my younger days, I used to enjoy the occasional rave or things like that, just because I love the lights and the music and stuff like that. I blame my mother. I blame my mother for this, because growing up, you know, music was always really important in our household. My grandpa was a musician, with mainly like salsa and like old school Puerto Rican music, and he was a timbalero, which means he played the timbales, which if you know who Tito Puente is, that's what he played. So my grandpa was pretty well known in the area, at least, for playing that, and he had different bands. So my mom grew up going to the dances, all these bands playing and stuff like that. So of course salsa was always big in our lives, but also, you know, my mom grew up in a different time era, so she didn't grow up on just salsa. She grew up also on disco and funk and stuff like that. So therefore we grew up on that. And this is why I blame my mother, because growing up in her living room, she had those like tube lights, like when LED lights first came out, they had them in the tubes, and we had blue ones, and then she just put them around the whole frame of the whole living room. And so then she used to have these different stereos. First she had one of those old school 80s stereos, right? And it had like an equalizer with the lights. You know, I loved growing up. And then she upgraded eventually when CDs came out. It was like a 5-disc CD changer, Iowa Sound, if you remember that. So she had that, and literally in the evenings, our living room would become like a nightclub. So she'd turn on her lights, the music would be blasting, and we would just be dancing in the living room. And it would just all be salsa, merengue, but also house music. If you know, like from the 80s, it's also called Latin freestyle, which is like Stevie B, Cover Girls, Exposé, stuff like that. That's what we grew up on. And then also her disco and her funk and old school music. So this is why I blame my mother, why I love lights and music. So actually, if you see in that back corner, the tube thing, that if you saw in my one video when I was putting it up on the wall, I haven't turned it on yet because that's what it is. It's lights, and it reacts to music, which I love even more. All that is to say, I bought these LED light strips, and I'll provide the links down below. I bought 2 of them. One's a little bigger, and then these are connectors for the LED light strips. And basically I'm going to install the lights underneath my whole desk area and that table, I believe, as well. And what that's going to do, because what he showed in his video, this was what worked in his video. Let's see if it works for me. Basically, you turn the LED lights on because you want like a soft glow in the background, and you can do whatever color you want. Turn off the main lights, and then when you have these lights on and the reflector, it reflects well on your skin so they could see you really nicely, but your setting is like dark and colorful. We'll see if it works. Okay, so that's my explanation. Sorry if it's long, like always. I'm sorry I digress a lot and I go off on all kind of tangents. I'm trying to get better at that. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and start setting up the LED lights. And these lights, I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward the video so that you don't have to go through all of the challenges with me. You just have to see the progress and the finished product, and we'll see if it works. Putting him to his test. Okay, so it's been at least a week since I started this lighting project, and that's why I haven't posted a YouTube video in a bit. But it's been really busy. I'm on my last 2 weeks of work before maternity leave, and I'm trying to get a lot done. And school started, so you know, it's just like non-stop reading and taking notes and homework. So I'm trying to do what I can, but going back and forth. I'm trying to balance. Remember, that's my thing for my 2021 goals and vision board. I'm trying to balance. So for example, I just read 10 pages of the Never-Ending book, took notes, and now I'm taking a break to try and get this done, get this video filmed so I can upload all the videos and then start editing in between reading. So I got to a point where I figured I can show you, because this is something that I had some trouble with when I first started, and it's still kind of weird and complicated, but I figured it out now. So the main thing is, as I'm attaching these LED light strips, maybe I should show you, hold on, let me lower the camera. So as I'm attaching these LED light strips, I don't want, so it sticks onto the bottom of the tables, but I don't want the tables to be forever like welded together by these lights. So every time a table changes, in case I have to move a table, I'm attaching a connector of some kind, so that if need be, I can open it up and detach the tables. So I bought these off of Amazon. They are cheap. I should have probably sprung for something more, a little bit better. But so sometimes the hardest thing is just opening them up. This is what they look like. And then there are also the corner units that I used earlier. So when you get a long light strip like this, you can see that there are certain points where you're allowed to cut. And it shows even a cut line. So that's the only place you can cut, otherwise you ruin it. So I decided to cut on this one here. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna pull it off a little bit so I can reach it better. And one thing I did realize is that it's easier to leave the backing on, because this is like a 3M sticker backing, because it sticks to the bottom of the tables, right? But the part that you're going to connect, leave the backing on so it's not sticking to the connector. So first thing, I like to try and make sure that the line is pretty straight when I cut it, because that'll make it easier to put it in. And then what I've noticed is this light strip is just a tad bit too wide for the connector. So the easiest thing to do is to just shave off just a tiny bit from the side, and it'll fit in better from both sides. It was literally like that little bit. So then you have to open this up, and you'll notice this piece is the side that's going to open, and this piece remains closed. So you can use the attachment they kind of give you to try and open it, like you kind of pry it open. But this is where you're going to get headaches. I just want you to know that, because I've thrown these a few times. So since I have longer nails, what I just do is kind of just like use my nail on the front side and just start prying it open. That one hurt. I bent my nail back, but it's open. So you see there's 4 like clips, and that's for the 4 connections here. So I'm going to open the other side now too. There. So now that's both sides open. So I have to put these underneath of the little metal tabs. And you have to get it under there really good so that it stays, because otherwise it'll come out. And then you close the lid and pray that it stays. So then you take your other end and then you do the same thing. Make sure it's cut straight and then trim a little off the sides. I should also mention there's a polarity-ish thing. So if you look, the top says plus 12 volts, so that's your positive side. That means that this is your negative side. And when you're looking at your connectors, if you look really close, it'll show you positive and negative. So just make sure you're lining them up correctly, otherwise it's not going to work. So your next step is to put your next side. Oh no! You see what happened? It wasn't in there good enough and it came off. So now I have to start all over again. So sometimes these pieces are just defective. Like this one has extra pieces in plastic in there and you just can't get anything in. No, actually it was this one. So like I've been through a few of them. If it's not working, put a different one in. Sometimes the metal prongs, they're not open enough to get anything underneath. And if you can't get underneath, it's not going to work. So I tried with this one. It still doesn't feel right, but let's see. So they say not to have them plugged in when you're working on them, but otherwise how are you going to know if it's working or not? So just be careful. So I have it plugged in and it works with the battery. So pray for me. Pray before I lose my sanity. All of this is going to work up to here because it's already been working. The question is if this piece is going to work. And this piece is only going to work if this connection is in there right. So we got to see. It's a moment of truth if this is going to turn on. It works! Yay! I can finish installing now. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord Jesus. It ended right here. I didn't make it all the way to the end, but it's literally a distance of like 5 inches, so I could care less at this point. It's good enough. Okay, so now it's time to see if all my new lighting equipment plus my new LED lights underneath will work the way I want it to work. I already know it's not going to completely because I completely forgot I'm in the basement and that's a basement window right there. So it's adding more light down here than what's supposed to at this time, but we're gonna see. So right now it's supposed to be dark and I'm gonna slowly but surely add each light and see how it makes the space look better, give it more of like a studio look. So let's see. Supposed to take one of these Viltrox lights, put it kind of like on my side, turn it on. Ooh. Hey, it does look kind of studio-ish already. So what this is supposed to do right now is light up this side of the face, and then I have to use the reflector to light up this side of the face. Here's a reflector. But I don't want it in the camera frame. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Let me turn it around and see. Didn't make a difference. Yeah, this side looks dark from what I can see. I'm sorry if I'm not looking directly in the camera because I'm looking on the side to make sure how this lighting looks. Bring that back. And so that's not the end. There's still the last Viltrox light that you're supposed to put a little bit higher. To illuminate like the top of the head. So maybe that's too high because I'm sitting. To illuminate like the top of the head and my edges. How's that look? I won't be able to tell till I sit down and edit the footage, but I feel like I'm in a filming studio. I have all this light around me. I'm not used to that. Hopefully it makes my videos look better. I don't know. I'll have to keep playing around with it, but by the time I do the next video, like after I sit down and see what this looks like. But the other thing is you're supposed to have like two kind of ambient lights around you. So that's why I have the LED lights underneath. And then in that corner I have that like disco party light. remember I told you about my mom, so this is actually hers. So this is, we grew up with all kind of lights and music and stuff like that. That actually right now it's on regular mode, but it does go to the music if you turn music on, which I will be doing, of course. But I just got monetized. I am not trying to get demonetized by having any illegal music in my videos. So you'll have to see it later with some other music laid over top. And speaking of music, I know a few of you guys have asked me about like where I get my music for my videos. I actually use Epidemic Sound. So it's a website, it's just epidemicsound.com. It is a monthly subscription service. I currently, as of right now in 2021, I pay $15 a month. For me, it's worth it because I love it. I have such a huge library and selection of music. For the most part, I stay in one category, which is Latin music, and I'd go to the urban Latin section. And that's pretty much, that's why you can tell like a distinctive sound to my videos for the most part, because I use that kind of music. So if anybody's interested, there's a link down below. Go ahead and click that link. You'll get 30 days for free trying Epidemic Sound. You have to have the subscription service as long as you continue to use it. Now, say for example, you're done with YouTube, you're not making videos anymore, you can cancel your subscription, and then the videos that you posted previously that still have that music on it, it's perfectly legal to keep. You just can't post any new content. So go ahead, you can use a 30-day free trial, and for anybody who signs up for a 30-day free trial and then starts paying after that, I get a free month. So I don't get any money, but I get a free month. So yeah, go ahead, try it out. I'd appreciate it. The link is down below. You have to use my link in the description in order for that deal though. So hopefully this looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and start editing soon. Actually, I gotta read some more in my book, fold some laundry. While I'm folding laundry, I'm going to finish my other video that I started that I haven't finished. Maybe I can get this video uploaded today. That would be really nice. It is the weekend. I gotta do what I can. But other than that, I'm pretty happy so far. So hopefully this works. Hopefully it makes my YouTube videos look a little bit more professional. Let me know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.